Hi everybody, this is Melissa. I go by Stitching Liz here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. It would mean so much to me if you would follow me in both places. Thanks so much for joining me today. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today we're going to be doing a review of a Dollar Tree cross stitch kit. So I'm going to insert some footage of me going to the Dollar Tree and picking out the kit, and I'll show you the kit that I got, and then I'm going to do some stitching on it and let you know what I think of the thread and the fabric and the chart and everything that came with it. So get ready, let's see what we can get for $1.25 in cross stitch. Okay, so this is the kit that I walked away with. There were actually two choices. One was behind this one. It was a heart with wings and a halo, but I liked this one better. So this is the Crafter Square cross stitch kit, and the contents are a cross stitch fabric, one metal needle, one design sheet, and 4 threads. So let's open this up and see what it looks like on the inside. So inside the kit came a needle that looks plenty big enough. It's definitely a 24 or 22 size needle. This fabric, it's a white square of Aida. This could be 11 count. Probably it's 14 though. They also gave the threads for the project. All the colors are there. Hard to know if there's enough. I'll find out when I start stitching. But this is the chart. There's no, unless it's missing from the kit. This right here, this picture, this close-up picture of the stitching is the only chart that they give you. There's no other chart for the pattern in the kit that I got. I definitely think I'll be able to stitch it from this, but I don't know if a beginner could do this just from this kind of chart. So I'm gonna get started and see what it's like to stitch on it, and then I will let you know what I think. I also got this embroidery needle bundle. It's like a pin cushion with a wristband that you can wear. I was curious to see how that was. I've been really interested in pin cushions lately, so I wanted to try that. And I also picked up this roll of fabric that I thought went really well with the chart with the colors, because I thought I could make a little pillow out of this. Perhaps, we'll see. But so I got those too. All right, let's see what this kit looks like. Okay, so I'm going to sort the threads onto this thread organizer. The threads are folded over and quite long. It looks like they give you a decent amount for the amount of stitching. So I'm just going to stick these onto the thread organizer to make them a little bit easier to access. And then after I do that, I'm going to see if I can get this square of fabric that they give you into my Nurge hoop. It might fit. I'm a hoop stitcher typically. I've done some smaller ornaments recently in hand, but this is a little bigger than that. I think I could do this in hand, but I'd prefer to do it in the hoop. So I'm going to see how well I can get it to fit in the hoop. I'm also a center starter. And I don't know how much margin they give you with this fabric, but the design doesn't look too big, so I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to set that up and try to do some stitching. Okay, so I wasn't able to really get the fabric in the hoop, so I'm going to try stitching in hand. The needle that they give you is a nice thick needle. I'm going to try putting the pin cushion on my wrist to see how I like that, the pin cushion I showed you that I got. Again, the chart is just this, unless the chart is missing from the kit. This is all I got. So I think I'm going to start with the red rainbow type border in the center there. So I'm going to start with the red. The thread feels fairly soft. It's not shiny like DMC, but it feels very soft. We'll see if it, oh, look, we have a visitor. You want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? Say hi. Hi, everybody. This is Puppy. He's not interested in being in the video. So, so I'm going to let you know how this stitches up. I do the loop start. So this length of thread is pretty good. The strands are very thin. When I'm pulling this strand out, it is very thin. I don't know what the coverage will look like because the fabric is very big. This almost makes me wonder if I pulled out a full strand. It's so thin. Or if I pulled out a part of a strand. I think I pulled out part of a strand. You're able to pull them apart? Like I think I split an entire strand. Let me see if I can get another one. You can see it's a little tricky. Okay, that is much thicker. So the first time I pulled out, I was actually able to split an entire strand of the thread. I don't think that's a great sign for the quality of the thread, but we'll see how it stitches. I am not very picky about thread. I mean, I don't want it to split when I pull it out of the little floss pack, but I'm not very picky. If it doesn't knot, it doesn't have to necessarily look a certain way for me to be happy with it. I lick my thread, sorry. Okay, let's see if I can get the needle threaded. All right, so we're gonna start approximately in the middle. And I'm going to have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to have to do some counting for sure on this. The fabric is super duper stiff, which makes it easier to stitch in hand actually. But it's the kind of fabric that you feel like you could cut your finger on. So the thread's going through pretty neatly. I'm not having any major problems right now with the thread. So I'm gonna speed up while I do some stitching. I'm gonna speed up the video and I'll come back and let you know what I think. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this right away, but I will definitely do enough to get a good sense of how this kit feels so I can give you a decent review of it. So let's see. Okay, so here's the finished product. So I'm really happy with the finish. I'm always happy to have a finish. I enjoyed working on this. So there are a couple things I want to tell you about the kit, some thoughts I have in case you're thinking of stopping at Dollar Tree and picking up yourself a kit. The first thing is that if you're not an Aida stitcher, I am certain they're all Aida, and it's very big Aida, and it's extremely hard and crunchy, stiff Aida. It made it really easy to work in hand. So that's something that's a plus that it's stiff, is that it was really easy to work in hand. So I enjoyed that. I thought the floss was a good amount. This is what I have left from the kit. So there was definitely plenty of floss in the kit, which I always find nice because if you make a mistake and you have to frog some thread out, you need to have a little extra. So I thought there was plenty of thread and I was really happy with that. The thread itself was not too difficult to work with. I only had like 1 or 2 knots happen, but when you try to take a strand out, like that first time I did, you have to be a little careful because it does split up a little bit. But when you're working with it in the stitching, it was absolutely fine, like no twisting, no knotting except for like 1 or 2 times, and it was extremely easy to get the knots out. I don't think the chart is difficult to read if you know how to cross stitch, but I wouldn't find it useful for beginners to learn to cross stitch. I think a beginner might be able to follow the chart. There's a chance a beginner might be able to follow the chart because you count the number of stitches and you just do that number of stitches. It was a little harder to count across empty space because you had to be able to see the holes that they have in the picture of the Aida. So that was a little more difficult, but basically it wasn't hard to read this chart. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it if it was a difficult chart, but I don't think you would find anything too difficult in the Dollar Tree. That would be hard to do. It is shiny, glossy, so I don't know if you can see it, but I had trouble. I usually highlight my chart when I have to count rows. So I wound up using this Sharpie marker to mark off some of the rows so that I could count easier, because it was a glossy chart and I couldn't highlight it. It does tell you at the top up here a little instruction on what to do, and it does say to use 2 strands of thread. I thought the coverage was pretty good. I am not very picky about coverage, but I feel like it looks pretty good. I don't think that this is too sparse, even though the 8 is so big. The other thing that was nice is the needle. The needle is nice and thick, and so it doesn't slip back and forth through the Aida. I like it when you can push your needle through the hole and it sticks there and doesn't fall back through. So I really thought that this was the right size needle for this project. It was an easy needle to use. It was easy to finish my threads on the back. It went through the stitches really easily. It was easy to thread. So I'm sure this is not a high quality needle, but it was definitely adequate and did the job. So overall, I would say for $1.25, this was a couple of hours or a few hours of a really good experience because I really enjoyed stitching it. I found a chart, a pattern that I like. The saying of choose joy appeals to me. So that was good. If you can find something that appeals to you and you're not worried about maybe not having a chart, and you're not picky about Aida, and you're not picky about the quality of your threads, I would say definitely give this a try for $1.25. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I definitely just enjoyed the experience of the stitching. So that's my review of the Dollar Tree cross stitch kit. I hope you had fun, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye, everybody.